Hey, welcome back to Love Restored. I am your favorite host, Marshaun Olaniyan, and you are listening to KCCR Brownstone Cityscapes. Listen, y'all, we have wrapped up all five silent saboteurs last week. But this week, I want to tie all of them together and give you some really actionable steps that you can take in order to make sure that your level of self-awareness is constantly rising versus decreasing. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into the very first one. And ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, I'm going to start this over my nose. Whew, always some. Good gracious. All right, I'm going to start over. Here we go. Hey, and welcome back, everybody. I'm your favorite host, Marshaun Olaniyan, and this is Love Restored. You are listening to KCCR Brownstone Cityscape, or you may be watching it. Now, listen, we have already wrapped up the 5 silent saboteurs of self-awareness. And this week, I am wrapping them all together, but I really want to hone in and bring you some actionable steps that you can take in order to continue to raise the level of your self-awareness. Now, what I put together is uncommon actions that you can take in order to raise the level of your self-awareness. But before we jump into that, let's briefly discuss why I decided to start Love Restored. Now, I decided to start Love Restored because, like you, didn't have any information when it really specifically came to dating as well as loving on myself first, and why that relationship is the most important relationship, the relationship with myself. It took me a while to understand why that played a part and how it played a part in me attracting a mate, as well as what I needed to do in order to make sure that just because my last relationship didn't work out does not mean that all relationships are not going to work out. And the truth of the matter is, I'm only looking for one romantic partner. I'm not into polygamy, so I'm only looking for one. But that's my life. Besides that, I had to understand and take full responsibility for my life, the way that I'm showing up, the things that I'm saying yes to, the things that I'm saying no to, the way that I'm responding versus reacting, the people that I'm attracting, and then asking the tougher questions of why I'm attracting to this particular person, or why I am showing up in the manner that I am showing up. Why do I want to be treated this way? Or why do I feel like I'm holding on to this relationship that is actually dead or dying? Why do I have a need to do any and all of these things? And what it is helping or hurting me, and where it is helping me or hurting me in my life. So asking myself the deeper questions. And so because I'm asking myself the deeper questions, as I was talking to my family and friends, I noticed that there were other people that were experiencing some of the same things that I have been through. And so instead of us continuously doing this on our own, why not come on a platform such as KCCR Brownstone and share my experience with other people? So again, you don't have to go down said road that I did if you can learn lessons through me, if you can hear what I have experienced and not go down that road. Take the action that I did in order to make sure that you don't go down that road so your life can be even better than my own. Right. So that's why I decided to start Love Restored, to come here and just pass along the information that I was not privy to. So now 5 weeks have already passed and we have discussed self-reflection, self-comparison, negative self-talk, the disconnection from our emotions or your emotions, as well as people pleasing. All 5 of these things hinder your level of self-awareness. Now, these silent killers can have a profound impact on Black women specifically. And these factors are often exacerbated by the unique societal pressures and systemic challenges we face, which can lead to a diminished sense of self and hinder personal growth, which is what we've talked about throughout these previous 5 weeks. Now, Black women might experience these issues in a compounded manner due to the intersectionality of race and gender, right? The resulting stress and the need to navigate these challenges can lead to emotional fatigue and decreased capacity for self awareness. It is crucial to address these silent killers head on to foster a healthier, more self aware mindset. So, we have to really accept the things that are going on. Again, I've never said that acceptance means that the thing that happened to you or the thing that keeps occurring is right. Never said that. What I am saying though is that because it happened to you, because it is a part of your story, you have to accept what it is that happened. And so I want to offer you some of the uncommon actions that you can take in order to overcome all five areas so your level of self awareness can rise to the next level. If it's here, maybe it just comes up here. If it's here, maybe it comes up here, right? So each thing that each action that you can take is going to help you to get to the next level, as well as tell you a story or two in how this has helped me if I've personally experienced, because all of the things that I'm going to mention, I have not personally done, but I do know other people that have done them and how they have affected their life in a positive way. So the very first uncommon thing that you can do in order to raise your level of self-awareness, other than all of the things that I have discussed over these previous 5 weeks, another uncommon thing that you can do is to attend or create culture healing circles. Now, what you're doing is that you're engaging in or creating a healing circle centered around your shared cultural experiences. Now, when you do this, these spaces should provide support, understanding, validation, which are all critical for building self-awareness. Now, I don't call my coaching, my group coaching, a healing circle, but reading the definition and understanding what that actually means by creating a space that is supportive, non-judgmental, allowing the people to come there and share their experiences. Because I support Black women and my group coaching is for Black women, we have a lot of shared things because of our culture, right? And so understanding that I do actually and have created a culture of healing. When I work with my clients and they come back and share some of the things that they're going through or some of the things that they have actually reflected on, when I listen to them speak from where they're at when they first start with me to where they're at when we're having said conversations, when they're having this realization of all the things that have changed for the better in their life because of the work that we're doing together, healing, the word healing often comes up. That anxiety is not brought up as often. And the word that I'm hearing more and more as we continue to work together, as they continue to take the actions, as they continue to do their work, I feel calm. I feel at peace. I'm not as anxious. And so there is a level of healing when we're working together, as there should be. But that self awareness, attending said circles, and let's be real, we talked about it before. The people that pay attention. The people that pay, they do the work. Most of the time, when things are offered free, it could be the answer that you've been seeking. But because you didn't have to pay for it, you didn't have to put any pennies into the pot in order to gain said information, it's usually swept under the rug and no action is taken. So when you work with somebody, I highly encourage you to pay them because those that pay attention. When there is a level of skin in the game in the form of financial, you pay more attention. And the higher that you pay, the more work that you do. That's a different conversation. But I highly encourage you to come out of your pocket if you want to get to the next level in your life. Because the coach, the counselor, even mentor usually don't pay for it, but that's beside the point. They can still give you some very valuable information. And with the mentor, usually they don't say this out loud, but if you're not doing the work, they just stop giving you the information. So you're paying in the time of your time. You're paying in the way of your time, not the time for your time. Got a little tongue tied there. Anywho, so cultural healing circles is one way. Another thing is affirmation audits. Now, what this looks like is that you're regularly reviewing and revising your personal affirmations to ensure that they align with your evolving self perception and your goals. You're tailoring affirmations to counteract specific negative self talk, which can be particularly effective. Have affirmation audits. What are you saying to yourself? Is it something that really is personal and touches your soul to this day? Or are you regurgitating the things that worked before that are not necessarily serving you now? Are you still saying, I'm worthy, I'm wonderful, I'm beautiful, I'm smart, but you're saying it kind of like that instead of, I'm worthy, I deserve love? Like, where there's that belief and that conviction versus I'm worthy, I deserve love. And it's not that you don't believe that. It's just that the weight before there was something that you didn't believe. And now you can say it with belief and conviction instead of saying, I'm worthy, I'm beautiful, I'm smart. Before, when you first had to do it, it was, I am worthy, I am beautiful, I am smart. And so the weight, the conviction is not there anymore. And so you need to audit your affirmations of what you're saying to yourself in order to get you to the next level, to help you to evolve your new self perception of yourself. So maybe yours is not, I'm beautiful, I'm smart any longer, I'm worthy. Maybe yours is something else like, I am a great parent. I love everything about me, flaws and all, right? Or I do deserve to be promoted, or whatever your thing is that you're currently dealing with in your life, again, to help you raise your level of self-awareness. But it's something that you don't really believe about yourself, and you need to tell yourself. You need to sing that song over and over and over again until you get to the point where that external validation that we talked about last week, you don't need that any longer. It's all internal. You believe it about yourself, but you need that conviction in order to start believing it about yourself. You need to really own it and say it. So audit your affirmations so it can help you get to the next level in your life, as well as raise the level of self-awareness. The third thing is narrative therapy. Now, this is where you explore techniques to rewrite your personal story in a way that empowers and reclaims agency. So this can help in reframing the negative experiences and fostering a stronger sense of yourself. So instead of saying, my life sucks because ABC happened to me. Okay, so let me just use me as a personal example. My life sucks because I got a divorce. I can keep singing that same story. Or I can take the negative, getting a divorce, and change it into an empowering statement, such as, I did get a divorce, but I'm also worthy enough to be dated and to get married again. Like saying it where I believe it, saying it with conviction, right? That is the affirmation audit that I just spoke about. And I am rewriting the story so I feel more empowered by me, in this case, getting a divorce versus woe is me. I got a divorce. My life sucks. I'm ugly. I'm fat. Nobody can love me. Like instead of singing that song, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I did get a divorce. Like there's that acceptance. That is me owning it. I did get a divorce. It wasn't fun. It wasn't pretty. Nobody gets married to get a divorce. And yet, that's what happened. That's my life. I'm doing it right now. I'm coming here to empower you so you don't have to get a divorce. If you're about to get married and you know that that relationship is not right, well, now you have to take some steps in order to make sure that you don't become part of the statistic by coming and get the information. But now, after you get the information, what you do next is what matters most. If you just hear it, take no action on it, means nothing. If you hear it and then say, you know what, I got to make some tough decisions. I got to make some, I, wow, I got to have that tough conversation. And the tough conversation may be, it's time to let go. It's time to break up. You know what? I can see that this relationship is going to end up in a breakup or divorce because of how it's structured today. And if the both of us are not willing to participate in shifting and changing the way that we are showing up in our life, then I know that this is going to end in something that I don't want, which is a breakup, which is a divorce. And so, in order to alleviate future pain, let's just deal with it right now. Before we exchange titles, before we exchange I do's, and I, possibly the woman, change my last name. Before we do that, let's do some work. Let's actually see if we can actually work this thing out. And I have a friend where I am friends where I am friend with the man and I am also friend with the woman. I used to work with the man, so him and I became friends first, but then meeting his family and everything, me and the woman became friends. So I'm friends with them separately as well as when they were a couple. And why is that important? Because they decided to, instead of just break up, they decided to say, okay, let's do this one last ditch effort. And we go to counseling together, and then each of us have a separate counseling session, either with the same person or with different counselors. Long story short, they did that for about a year, year and a half. And the end result is that they could not resolve said issues. Neither one of them wanted to bend and shift. And so before they said, I do, they say, you know what? As much as I hate for this relationship to end because it's now been years, as much as I hate that, I would rather it end today than us saying I do, only to experience divorce and what that's going to look like and how we're going to be affected even more. So they made an adult decision, counseling, therapy, to say, before we throw in the towel, let's just see and then come back together and give it deadlines and dates and let's talk about things and are we implementing these things. And they just found that they were not on one accord. Big picture, long term, they were not on one accord. They both loved their child, but they were not on one accord when it came to the two of them. And guess what? That's okay. It happens. It happens. There's that acceptance that I've been talking about. They're not bad people, either one of them separately. They just were not able to make the relationship work. And I'm saying make it work, but I don't think that you should have to make a relationship work. It should be a choice, a positive choice on both of your end in order to get to the next level, right? So the reframe, they could say, I spent all this time in this relationship and didn't even go nowhere. Or they can rewrite their stories and make it more powerful. You know what? That relationship didn't work out. I own that. This is the part that I played in it. And this is the lesson that I learned. So the next relationship that comes around, I will know how to ask this better question or to get more information. So I don't feel like I'm just wasting my time. I'm dating with purpose. Dating with purpose. I'm not just out here willy-nilly dating just because I want to be in a relationship. I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking about the future of my child. I'm thinking about the future of said family and what my life looks like long term and not just today. So, how can you rewrite your own story? Narrative therapy is that. That's what that's called. Number 4 is mindful media consumption. Now, over these past weeks, I've talked about this. I didn't say it in this form, but I literally talked about all the things that we input into our life, the things that we watch, the things that we listen to, right? All of that makes a difference. But specifically, the definition of mindful media consumption is where you are curating a media diet that includes content that celebrates and uplifts Black womanhood. Now, this can provide positive role models and counteract negative societal messages. So, you being here today, I'm a Black woman, I'm giving you positivity. So, maybe this is something that you can say, okay, this is a part of my mindful media consumption. But again, it's the music that you're listening to. Are you listening to music that degrades Black women or just women in general, that has a lot of violence in it? It's that programming that you're not even realizing that you're doing to yourself. Program yourself in another way where it's more mindful, where you're paying attention to the words that are coming out of your mouth, where you're paying attention to the things that you're listening to. When you're listening to the podcast, because podcasts have positivity and they also have junk, negativity. How much positivity are you listening in your ears, right? Are you leaning more toward the secular um, negativity? And I'm not saying you have to be a person that always listens to gospel, but gospel is about positivity for sure. Think about the artists that you have on your in your playlist. Are they speaking mainly positivity, uplifting messages, or it's about how much sex you can have and twerking and killing and violence and all that stuff. All that stuff matters and how you show up and the normalness of your life, the normalness of the things that come out of your mouth. Are you speaking highly respectable about yourself, or are you leaning more into I'm a bad B, I'm a da. Don't get me wrong, I dance to it, but I don't listen to that all the time because I'm not a bad B. I'm Marshaun, beautiful Black woman, not a bad B. The way that they dress, and I know it's for entertainment and stuff, but when I look at people that are not on the stage, like literally not on the stage, when we're just walking down the street and I see them dressed a particular way, I'm like, oh, she got low self-esteem. I'm looking at everything. And yes, it is a judgment. But here's the thing. Let's be real. I'm telling you that I have judgments when I look at certain people and the things that they're wearing. And this is men too, not just women. I'm listening at the things that they're allowing to penetrate, just passing by. Because if we're not on pretty much the same level, I'm not saying we have to be 100% equal, but if we're not pretty much on the same level, then we're not having a lot of conversation anyway, because the things that you want to discuss are not where my mind is at all. That's also why I don't watch the news. And I know a lot of people are like, you don't watch the news, you don't watch the news, you don't know what's going on. And right now, the atmosphere with Trump and him being the nominee and all the things that are happening and abortion being banned. And I think it was the last time I listened to it, it was 22 states and just all of that things. All that's negativity because I'm also a believer. All of this junk, it has to happen because in the Bible, it talks about the world ending. The world is coming to an end faster and faster. And so Trump bringing up, without him saying the word, at least the last time I listened, dictatorship, that has to happen here in the US. It has to happen in order for the world to end. But that's a different conversation. The point is, that's the negativity. I'm not drowning myself in what the hell Trump got going on. I'm aware, sure, but I'm not leaning into his negativity, his scare tactics, and you don't have to vote anymore after you vote this time. All of that is going to happen, whether it happens with Trump or if Trump is just planting the seed for the person that is actually going to do it. America will be a dictatorship. It has to occur in order for God's perfect plan to come into fruition. Now, I'm going down a rabbit hole, so I'm going to move forward into emotional mapping, which is number 5. The 5th uncommon way in order for you to raise your level of awareness. So, what is emotional mapping? It is where you develop an emotional map to track and understand your feelings in different situations. So this practice can help in identifying patterns and triggers, thereby enhancing emotional awareness. So how you're showing up. So say, for instance, when an argument happens on your emotional map, you put the word argument, just for simplicity's sake. And after argument, there's lines coming out your map, right? What happens? What do you do? What do you say? How do you recover? If you recover at all, how long it takes, like you're doing all of that. And then each one of those go to what you do next after that. So you're mapping out your emotions. That's going to help you to understand how you are showing up in your life, the patterns that you are exhibiting and how they're affecting your life. Is this more positive or more negative? So what's actually happening in your life when you're doing these things? So emotionally map out the things that are occurring. So when they do occur, the next time around, you could say, okay, previously when we would argue, I would do A, B, and C. And now my level has raised. I'm still doing this one real bad. So I still got to really work on this one. But the other two, a lot better in, calmer in these areas. I feel like I am more in control, and not in a bad way, but just in control of my emotions. Just because it came here don't mean it needs to come out here, right? So the next one is for you to have some way to express yourself. And this way, I'm talking about creative expression, which is engaging in creative activities like writing, art, or dance that allow you to express what's happening on your internal world. And I hear this from a lot of actors and actresses and dancers alike that say, even if I couldn't say it from here, my mouth, their mouth, they can act it out. And I remember Viola Davis saying that her characters that she plays a lot can say the things that she wants to say as Viola Davis, but it's fearful to say. Now, she's gotten better at it over the years because if she can say it in her character, then she can actually say it. However, when she first started, it was really tough for her to say these things that her character was saying. And then she started to get bolder to say these things. So expressing yourself, what's happening internally, is a way to get these things out, for you to be able to verbalize it better to the people around you, the situations around you, right? So creative expression, art, writing, and we talk about journaling. We talked about that several times. That is writing. Get that stuff out. When it comes up, write about it. What is it? How is it making you feel? What did you do? How would you like to show up in that situation? Like really asking yourself those questions and then writing the answers so you can see how you really want to show up in black and white. And then finally, mentorship or peer support is an uncommon way. And I know that we've talked about it here several times, and a lot of people are still not leaning into the support system in the form of paying, right? I talked about paying. People that pay attention. Seek out mentors or peer groups that share similar experiences and challenges that you have, because the head, the person that you're speaking to, should be able to help you in the form of getting you to a place that you want to be at, as well as how to get there. So I want this goal. Now let's talk about the plan in the middle to get there. And then what are the actions that you're taking in order to reach said goal? So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. Take these things into account. I love you guys, and there's nothing that you can do about it. I am Marshaun Olaniyan. This is Love Restore, and you're listening to KCCR Brownstone. Sign up for my 3S challenge if you have yet to do it. We are breaking down these barriers this entire time. So you need some help with your self-esteem or your self-confidence, speaking softer to yourself, stop people pleasing, stopping yourself from comparing, or even just journaling, the self-reflection. You need some guidance. Sign up for the 3S challenge. I love you guys. There's nothing that you could do about it. And next week, we are honing in on a new subject altogether. I will see you then.